Hello everyone and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How are we today, Steve? It's a really nice day over here in Melbourne. I trust it's like that in Adelaide as well.
Yeah, beautiful day here today in Adelaide. Hello, FiST Chat fans. It's been a big week in filmmaking for me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. For all of us, I think, because we always like to keep our toe in it. But yeah, that's right. But before we get into that, just usual housekeeping. Don't forget our website, www.fistchat.com. You can get all our links there. And you can subscribe to our audio via iTunes, RSS and FeedBurner. Catch all of our videos on YouTube, Vimeo and Digicosm TV, and interact with us on Twitter, Google Plus and Facebook. Love to hear from you. It's a live discussion. It's not just us two talking, so get in there. And we've also got our supplementary content, the weekly blogs, the photography on Instagram and Flickr, and of course recommend us to anyone who might be interested. And we've got obviously the results of another poll that we took that ties in with our topic today. But before we do the poll, we would normally do it now, but we want to have a bit of a general chat now just about the GoPro cameras. Not sure if you're familiar with them, but essentially they're for those extreme sports types who like to, do barrel rolls and, surfing big waves, and being able to capture all of that on camera by strapping in effect, a tiny HD camera to their head. And it works really well for that. And Steve, you got one and came to a bit of a tragic end, didn't it?
It did come to a tragic end. Let me tell you, Ben, this is the way for cameras of the future. I'm not, getting, I think, over-exaggerating this. This is the way of cameras of the future. They are amazing cameras. They're not just for high-impact, high-action sports. Anyone can use them. And yes, I was using mine in the surf to make a family video. Rogue wave came from behind. I had it strapped to my head. I saw it disappearing in the white water. I don't know where my GoPro is. and it's lost. It's lost and posted online on the lostgopro.com with about 100,000 other lost GoPros.
It's a hell of a business that they got going there.
Well, let's face it, the GoPros lost off the ends of sticks. GoPros lost while climbing, while hang gliding, while sailing, while surfing, you name it. Make sure that they're physically attached to you if you're out in the open. Absolutely.
Just going through it, you sent through, we'll overlay some footage too, by the way, for people who are watching. This is some footage from Steve's recent sojourn in Tough Mudder, which, if you really want to punish yourself, go and do that. I'm sure there's some sort of equivalent race everywhere in most countries, I would have thought.
There is Tough Mudders International, though.
Of course, yep.
So, it's somewhere between, I think, 10 and 14 miles, and usually about 30 obstacles, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see from the footage, and all caught on your, previous GoPro camera, because we'll discuss later that you may be getting another one. But you had the...
I'm going to have to get another one, man. Unless somebody returns it, that's gone.
Yeah, absolutely. You got the silver edition, didn't you? Which was only, was about $300 or something?
Yeah. And you can read, I've written a review this week for my blog on the GoPro. I got the silver. Look, the black has got higher resolution options, but I don't actually see them as being worth it. I really don't know about shooting 4K at 15 frames a second. That doesn't seem to be right to me.
Yeah.
And I also don't have a device to edit or view 4K footage. So the silver is by far and away enough, and it's a fantastic camera. Honestly, out of the box, strap it to your head. You have to buy a mount to strap it to your head or to your chest. And just go with it. It's awesome.
So you're going to be getting the GoPro 4 Silver then when it eventually comes out?
I think I might wait until the GoPro 4. Hopefully, it's only a few months away.
You're feeling those withdrawal
symptoms. Get myself a GoPro 3 Silver again.
Yeah, well, you're feeling those withdrawal symptoms already.
I am. Look, I've had cameras for 20 years, as you well know, Ben. And used them in all sorts of different formats for different sorts of uses. GoPro was the first camera I truly loved.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe now we'll segue into filmmaking in general, because obviously we've had a lot of experience doing that, again, with different types of cameras. And this was the GoPro was obviously a more energetic version of the filmmaking that we normally would get into. But I guess the overall thought, though, is that looking back at where we came from, we kind of did it. We just went out and did it, as opposed to doing the film school route. Yeah. And the question is, even especially today, do you really need to pay money to go to film school and learn how to make films? Now, before we get into a general discussion on that, we just want to bring up the results of that poll that I mentioned earlier. Is film school necessary for filmmakers? And we had the results. 30% said yes, 70% said no, and one comment, it makes them better.
Well, I certainly agree with that. It would make you better. There's no doubt about that. Whether it's necessary or not, I guess, is what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if the real value in film school really is all about the connections that you make. I mean, I'm sure you're going to meet some people there that you can bond with, and obviously that forms the genesis of any future teams that you create as you go forward. But outside of that, which you can't discount that, that's really important. I think it's just more a technical exercise. You go out, they teach you if they teach you how to use the equipment, how to use the camera, etc., etc. I don't know if they can teach you how to make the film creatively. And I sort of am speaking from a little bit of experience here, in that I did do some film study at university, and the one or two subjects at the time, now they've got a whole bachelor of whatever in film production now. They didn't have it back then. I only had a few elective subjects. Back then when I did those subjects, they tried to infuse this idea of, teaching creatively how you would go about doing this or doing that, getting this shot or whatever. And I found it was counterintuitive, because it's all subjective. Yeah. Just because your teacher doesn't like what you did doesn't mean it's crap.
Doesn't mean it's no good.
That's right. And, I did get into the odd argument or two with a lecturer for the very reason that, you'd go, oh, no, that's not how you do it. And I'm saying, well, why not? And I guess it depends on how it all works. If you get some good teachers who can, really spur you on and sort of bring that creativity out of you, which is, I'm guessing, what a teacher or a lecturer or an instructor is supposed to do. They don't always do that, because in film school you get a lot of frustrated lecturers as well. But if you get the really good ones, then you can get a lot of good value out of it.
Well, yeah, I mean, let's face it, film school is a relatively recent, introduction to the film industry anyway. So, notably, you've got, I think around the 60s or 70s, they started film school in California, and you got guys like Spielberg and Lucas actually attending those sorts of classes. And obviously back then, it was exclusive. Not every university gave it. And it's testimony to that course at that time, the sorts of Hollywood filmmakers that they churned out.
Yeah.
Prior to that, though, if you were keen, you went on set and, you either worked for a studio as a writer, or you got out there and you got an apprenticeship on camera or with lighting or with sound, with staging. And that's how you did it. And I think today, there are various levels. You're absolutely right. If you really want to make films at a high level, at a Hollywood theatrical sort of release level, you probably do need to go to film school, because you need the networks and you need that, I guess, a big equipment, big production experience early on.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that somebody can't watch films. You learn the shots pretty quickly. The shots are actually pretty standard. And if you read books or go to Google, there's plenty of information. And of course, a project that I've been working on, Ben, How to Make a Film, you've got the film gurus that basically can give you 3-day schools and claim fantastic results. So, yeah, I don't know. I'd be personally hesitant to take on a course that was any longer than 6 weeks.
Absolutely. And just to sort of draw a line under this and bring it back to the technology that's available today, it's a little different in that you would probably have to spend some money to maybe go maybe a red camera or something to really differentiate from yourself from, you know, every Tom, Dick and Harry who's shooting 1080p video for YouTube. But it's still possible to be able to do these things with inexpensive equipment. Yeah. And to get it out there and do it, even if it's just for the practicing, you know, learning how to do it yourself. Because I find that, I know from experience with a lot of, not just making films, with anything, that just going out and doing it yourself is a way of really learning quickly and also getting it ingrained into your head, because you learn what not to do. Yeah.
Oh, look, exactly. And this is where a camera like the GoPro now, you're talking about the Red. Well, the Red is a fine camera for a proper cinema experience. But we're not far away from that, you know, with ordinary domestic cameras. I don't care what Hollywood come out with, 8K, 16K, 32K. You know, you've got a GoPro, which is tiny. It's this big, and it's shooting full HD with great colours, and with the ability to colour profile it as if it was a shot for Hollywood. So, you know, and the audio, Ben, it doesn't have a mic input, right? And yet its audio input is as good as having a high-quality mic. I'm telling you, there are a few flaws because it's a little bit dinky to use, but you cannot underestimate how good this camera is. You wait till you have a play. You're going to love it.
Absolutely. I think I'll have to, you're convincing me. I'm going to have to go down there and buy one.
I'll be borrowing it next weekend then.
Absolutely. All right, we might move on now to our news bites. A few different things here. Our film news bite, this is more a bit of fun. The TV show Entourage, great HBO series, lots of fun. It's apparently going to be getting a movie version done. Warner Brothers has greenlit it. It's going to be like the show, obviously, follow the main exploits of all those main characters. And I really enjoyed the show. So if they do the movie any as good as the show, then it should be worth checking out.
I think it'll be a good film, but it's always difficult, isn't it? You know, you take a 1 hour show and try and make a 2 hour movie. Yeah. And sometimes you can't. It's just a 2 hour television show. So hopefully they'll get it right.
It depends on whether Ari Gold is bearable on the big screen as well when he's, you know, yelling at you. Alrighty, we'll move on to our science news bite now. Coming back to Mars, how much will it cost to live on Mars? I don't think we've actually covered this in all of our Mars discussion talks.
Seriously, Ben, surely the first people sent there get to stay there for free, don't they? It'd be a bit rough to have to pay your own way.
Yeah, absolutely. Discovery News has a really good infographic about how much it would cost and goes through the various bits and pieces, and we'll throw a link up so you can have a look yourself. I've just gone down to the bottom now, and they reckon if NASA did it, it would cost $121 billion to travel to Mars in your own private rocket, live there on 1.2 acres of land, and have enough food, water, and entertainment to survive. Whatever you need to.
I'm glad they've accounted for entertainment, because that's one thing you're going to need a lot of on Mars.
Oh, absolutely. In your inflatable habitat that you've got there.
You have to take some lolcats with you or something.
Yeah, absolutely. Just one interesting stat on that, though, they pointed this out. This may sound like a lot of money, and it is, but if the US was to spend all of its $711 billion defense budget on getting people to Mars, then it's doable, isn't it?
Well, perfect. There we go. Call President Obama.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you think they got some money left over that they can spend?
They haven't.
Alrighty, and now finally our tech news bite. This was sent through from Liam Jaffrey, who's a frequent contributor to our topics. Yeah. World's first 3D printed building will arrive in 2014, and it looks awesome. Interesting here. We've talked about 3D printing before, well, if they could make a building, surely at some stage, it's just blocks that they have to put together, isn't it?
Well, it's amazing. I don't know if anyone goes to the Exploratorium in San Francisco. I was there in 2010, and they were just building some playground equipment, optical illusion playground equipment, just with laser cutters to create perspective and some really crazy geometric shapes. you could print those shapes as well, which is obviously the kind of thing they're doing with that house. This is amazing because can you imagine a house almost as if it's made out of Lego?
Yeah. Well, they're kind of made out of Lego already. They're just concrete slabs. So this is just the next natural step.
This will be brilliant. Do they know what the printer's using? Is it a polymer or will it be some sort of, I don't know, concrete or clay?
Oh, I'm not sure. It doesn't actually specify in this. Oh, here we go. Prints out 6x9 chunks of frame comprised of sand and inorganic binder. Does that make sense?
There you go.
There you go. So
high-tech concrete by the sounds of it.
Yeah, fiber reinforced concrete.
Wow.
So
this is amazing. I mean, can you imagine skyscrapers being built like this? And once they get the carbon nanotubes right, and you have super lightweight, super strong tubes that you can print out, you know, buildings will build themselves. That's amazing.
No, absolutely. And just finally, I just wanted to throw in a recommendation now to go see the movie Flight, directed by Robert Zemeckis and starring Denzel Washington. I didn't go in with much expectations because I kind of have a feeling of what Denzel movies are kind of like, but and I enjoy them. But this one's actually very different, and he really loses himself in that role, and it's just really good. And it's not your standard Hollywood kind of fluff either. It's really well produced, well executed in that Hollywood manner, but it gives you something a bit fresh and a bit more down to earth, which is just really, really nice to look at. And that is even despite after looking at the preview and seeing the inverted plane flying overhead. It's all realistic, trust me. So it's definitely worth having a look.
Very good, very good. I'll check it out.
Absolutely. So we're totally out of time. So thanks again, Steve, for the chat.
Anytime, Ben. You let me know if you get that GoPro.
Oh, absolutely. Maybe we'll start filming FiST chat that way while we're hanging off a cliff somewhere. All right.
Very good.
All right. So that's it for this week's episode. So we'll catch you next week.